President Trump was asked what he thinks about Michelle Obama's new book. Specifically, he was asked what he thinks about the fact that she said she'd never forgive him for birtherism, repeatedly claiming that Barack Obama is not American, he's Kenyan, he's Muslim, all these conspiracy theories. So this is brought up to him by the reporter. Hey, Michelle Obama said she never forgive you for birtherism. How do you respond to that? And here's what Trump says.
Oh, Michelle Obama said that? I haven't seen it. I guess she wrote a book. She got paid a lot of money to write a book. And they always insist that you come up with controversial. Well, I'll give you a little controversy back. I'll never forgive him for what he did to our United States military by not funding it properly. It was depleted. Everything was old and tired. And I came in and I had to fix it. And I'm in the process of spending tremendous amounts of money. So I'll never forgive him for what he did to our military. I'll never forgive him for what he did in many other ways, which I'll talk to you about in the future. But what he did, because she talked about safety, what he did to our military made this country very unsafe for you and you and you.
He's such a child. One of my biggest objections to Trump and Republican politicians is that they just make shit up. I mean, my biggest objection is the massive disagreement on policy and substance. And so by extension to that, I guess you could say values, what I value, what they value. That's my biggest disagreement with them. But outside of that, my biggest objection is that they just make shit up. They have it doesn't stop them, doesn't make them think twice. I'll just say some shit, and then I said it, and then now it's a 50-50 proposition, and the media can debate it. That's what they do. So they make something a debate when it's not a debate. So the reality is, in 2015, under Obama, our military spent more, I've showed this chart before, than the next 9 biggest militaries combined. So to call that depleted is beyond ridiculous. It's laughably stupid. Now, on top of that, spending on the military accounted for over 50% of discretionary spending. Over 50% of discretionary spending is military spending. This is what it was under Obama. And he's bitching as if like, our military was depleted. It was depleted. It was depleted. That's just hilariously dumb and wrong and ignorant. Now, there's a chance that he's referring to the sequester, as it was called, where it was a scheduled 15% decrease all across the federal budget. And the whole idea was that'll force us, the Democrats and the Republicans, to get at the table together and make a deal. But of course, the Republicans are so obstructionist and they objected to everything Obama did, even when it was their ideas, that didn't immediately lead to a deal. So the sequester did take effect for a while. Now, the sequester was a 15% cut across the board, but even with the 15% cut across the board, our military is way too large, comically large, ridiculously large, should not be that large, especially at a time when we have up to 45,000 people dying in this country because they don't have health care, especially at a time when our infrastructure gets a grade of D+. The idea that we're, just throw endless amounts of money at the military. So, but if he's referring to the sequester, and here's the other point as to why that's wrong to say it was depleted, that was a bipartisan agreement to do the 15% across the board cut for the entire federal budget. That was a bipartisan thing. So to blame Obama for that makes no sense whatsoever. You can't just blame Obama for that. So, but again, even with the sequester, I think to say that, it's depleted is just insane to say that. No sense of scale. So, I mean, just make shit up. I mean, seriously, if you're a Republican and you don't know these facts that I just gave you, and you're a Trump fan, you'd listen to that and go, yeah, Obama with the fucking weak-ass military, man, that's a problem. When the real issue with Obama was unfortunately the same issue with George W. Bush and many of the other presidents, including Donald Trump, is that they believe in the empire. And they believe in nation building, and they believe in wars of aggression. We're bombing 8 countries right now. Under Obama, we were bombing 7 countries. That was the problem with Obama. He continued Afghanistan. He got us out of Iraq for about 3 seconds, and we went right back in. So that's the problem with Obama, is that he's just like George W. Bush and the neocons in many ways. In some ways, the minor differences matter. Like, okay, Trump increased drone strikes 432%. Even more civilians are dying on that front. I do think those differences matter, but the problem is he was too hawkish, not that he wasn't hawkish enough. So if you think that, that's just wrong, and that's stupid, and that's what Trump's arguing here because he's a goddamn buffoon.